Hi everyone. Happy New Year's Eve to you. You're probably wondering why I'm sitting on the floor. Well, this is my New Year's Eve tradition. I don't really go out on New Year's Eve. I sit on the floor because a lot of people will be shooting off guns and I just want to stay safe. So most of the things that I do every year happen on the floor. I'll be praying on the floor. I'll be reviewing my goals for the next year on the floor, or chanting mantras on the floor, or making artwork. It's just a very fun time. So welcome to my New Year's Eve tradition. In this video, I'm going to be discussing a lot of things. The first part, I'm going to be sharing with you my 2021 in review, all of the things that have changed from since last year to now. Also, I wanted to share with you some of the goals that I have for the year 2022, my New Year's resolutions. And if you have your own New Year's resolutions or things that you want to share about what you've learned this year, then you can post them in the comments below. I'd really like to read about them. The next part is I'm going to end this video with a musical slideshow. And in this slideshow, I'm going to be showing you photographs of all of the books that we have reviewed this year, as well as all of the artwork that I have created this year, just to show the changes and the trends and, to see if you can notice some similarities between what I was painting and what I was reading at the same time. So let us get started with the first part of this video. So December 31st, 2020, which was a year ago today, I had just moved back from Hawaii. I had moved to Hawaii and I had stayed there for 2 months. I was living with this very verbally abusive old man, and I had to overcome my fear of flying. I hadn't flown in 19 years, so this was the first time I had flown since 2001, and that was making me panic so much. But my urge or my yearning to get home was so strong. I didn't care what would happen to that plane. I just wanted to get back on the mainland. So the day that I was about to catch my flight, the person I was living with said that I couldn't live with them anymore. Something happened. So all of a sudden, I had nowhere to stay. I came to St. Louis December 31st, 2020, to no home. I stayed in an Airbnb. I had basically $0. The only thing that I really had waiting for me was a full-time job that my friend offered, so I lucked out on that one. From January through March, I stayed at another friend's house or his apartment. I slept on a mattress in his living room, and he was so kind to open his door to me. It was just, I don't know, it was just a new thing because I'm so used to housing people. I've housed like 7, 8 people in my 1-bedroom apartment over the course of from 2015 until this year. And it was just a new experience. Now I am the one being housed. I tried so hard those first few months to get a place to live. I was trying so hard to get an apartment and nothing was working. So I had to utilize the esoteric. I had to use the powers of the Psalms and other metaphysical tactics in order to get this apartment. I said to myself, I am going to get my own place by March 1st, 2021, and I ended up being approved for this apartment February 28th. Right on time. Another thing that changed this year is I started dating again. I hadn't really dated in a while. My last serious relationship was it was a 6-year relationship. So it ended in 2017, and I had maybe 1 or 2 rebound relationships. So I haven't been really serious about anybody in a long time. But I started communicating with this guy out of town who has been my Facebook friend for almost 2 years. We would talk maybe 2 times a year, and I think it's a nice little thing to start again. Like, I'm still single, but that was something very different that happened to me this year. And we ended up meeting up a couple of times this year, and it's just been very fun. He's a very nice guy. The next thing that happened was while I was going through all of this, I was also dealing with I mentioned this in a video that I deleted recently, but I was dealing with sexual harassment, and it just took a very big hit to my self-esteem. I was being harassed. I was just name called, but the name calling was disguised as jokes, like you're like a whore, or you're just a whore, or whatever, or you're a destitute, or you don't know what to do, and everybody leaves you, and you're by yourself, and are you crazy? And this just went on for months and months and months. And also, the same person was trying to pay me for sexual favors. They're like, if you do this, I'll give you $300. If you do that, I'll give you such and such dollars. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So that was one thing that I really remember about this year, dealing with that. And it revealed to me how much of a low self-esteem that I did not know I had. I didn't know I had that low self-esteem. I thought I was fine. So because of this experience, I want to spend the year 2022 really building up my self-esteem and also building up the self-esteem of others. I also ended up getting a free laptop. I call this my blackmail laptop, the one that I am using now. It was from the person that harassed me. They gave me a free laptop and $500 and left me alone. So, yeah, that's what happened. I'm still kind of dealing with the trauma of it, but I like turning things that happen to me into something that I can benefit from. This year it was also just a challenge for not only me, but the people around me. A lot of people I knew died, like, just suddenly. One was murdered. One was like, I don't know how she died. It was just like several people. My grandfather died. My aunt died. It was just a lot of death around me. And that made me really appreciate life, and also showed me that I need to be more prepared. I need to have things in place. At my aunt's funeral, one thing that I really admired about her, she was an educator. She was an older lady. But even in death, she was prepared. She had already paid for her own burial plot. She had paid for her tombstone. She had already selected her casket. The whole funeral was paid for by her. She was utterly prepared. Everything was in order and everything went smoothly. And because of that, that really made me focus so much on like being prepared in life, making my own life easier, and getting out of this perpetual struggle. That is one of the main focuses that I am ending the year with, getting out of this perpetual struggle. My focus also shifted towards increasing my finances. So right now I've been practicing budgeting. I have a savings challenges journal. I started an Etsy store that has all of my little savings worksheets on it, and I'm creating some week by week in order to stay on track. I ended up saving $783, which was very surprising. I didn't know I had the ability to save that much on the little income that I have. So yeah, I created more paintings. I got more ideas of how I could promote myself. So that is just my review of the year 2021, and I'm very excited for the year 2022. So for that, I wanted to go into some of the goals that I have for 2022. I'm not going to read you all of them, but I'm going to read you some of them. I wrote them down right here. I put them in protective sheets because I carry around binders with my goals and things ordered. How I have my New Year's goals divided, I do this every year. I divide them into categories and I write whatever goal is related to whichever category. So the first category is books and reading. I want to spend 52 weeks trying to read the entire Bible. I know that's kind of a strange goal, but I really want to have some type of Bible study, whether it's a metaphysical Bible study or just get a better understanding of it. I think it is a very important book, a very controversial book, and I really want to study that book in particular. I have not read the whole Bible. I've only read bits and parts of it, even though I went to a religious school. The next goal that I have is memorizing 52 poems. I used to memorize poetry a lot as a child. I would go around to barber shops and recite poetry written by Black poets. And when I was 14, 15, 16, I would create art, go to barber shops, recite the poetry, and sell prints of my artwork. So I want to do that again, especially poetry written by Black poets. I also would like to start on creating a publishing company. I don't really know the first thing about creating a publishing company, but I'm going to spend 2022 trying to figure it out. That way, if I do that, I can help other people make their manuscripts into a reality and perhaps even grow a team of illustrators and various things. I want to focus on books that two subjects. I want to focus on books that are about people in Black history that don't have much written about them, such as a person like Joseph Seaman Cotter Jr. and other things. I also want to revamp or make workbooks on books written by New Thought authors of the past. So that's another thing that I think would be cool. And the last category or last goal for this category is creating my own little free library. If you don't know what a little free library is, it is basically like a structure, like a little book box in different neighborhoods or throughout your city or wherever you're living. And people come in, they put free books in there, and you can grab the books and take them home and place a book in there. I want to start my own little free library. I just have to figure out how I go about that, like what legal process I have to do in order to have it in a certain location. Can I get one built or do I have to order one? But that's one thing that I really, really want to do. I just think that would be so cool to have a little free library and share books with others. The next section is career. And even though I have a busy schedule, I want to make at least one art piece a month. I want to be more productive this year, or in 2022 than I was this year. I want to be more consistent with creating my art. I did not create as much art because I was so exhausted from work. I was working full time and I was traveling, opening the store, traveling 2 hours to open the store because I don't drive. And it was just very hard on my body, like working all day, being on my feet all day, opening boxes, talking to people. And I have to come home and try to create art. And on the 3 days I have off, all I want to do is sleep because I don't have any more energy left. I have to sleep and run my errands. So I want to make one minimum art piece a month. I also want to publish 2 manuscripts. I have 2 unpublished manuscripts that I have not created the artwork to, that I have not laid out or anything. One is about Martin Luther King and one is about Malcolm X, and I want to publish them this year. I also have another manuscript that I'm basically 60% done with. It is a manuscript on Kwanzaa that I was not able to publish this year. But now that I have all of my equipment, I'll be able to finish that book. I want to create 20 new poetry forms. I already have 2 poetry forms that I've created, but I want to create a booklet of poetry forms. One poetry form I can't remember. I can't remember the name. And the other poetry form I made is called a prozoum. I created it as a teenager. So I want to have a booklet of poetry forms, and I want people to buy the booklet and create their own writings. I also am thinking about starting a literary magazine, but I'm still figuring out like copyright and stuff. Like, can I use people's art? Like, do I have to pay them something? But that's one thing that I really think would be very, very cool, getting people's work published in a literary magazine. I also want to learn how to sew. I have a sewing machine that I bought this year, and my goal to learn how to sew is to make my own clothes. I don't really like when I have to buy from other people sometimes. I'm trying to be as self-sufficient as possible. I also want to be able to create clothes for my children when I have children, and create my own wedding dress if I ever get married one day. I also, the last thing for this section is take one Gale course. Now, a Gale course is basically through Gale Learning, or what is that called? I can't remember. I'm taking it through the library, and you get a certificate of completion for whatever subject that you're studying. So you can study sign language, you can study personal finance, and all of these different things. And it's free because the library pays for it. You get a certificate of completion, and you can put that certificate of completion on your resume. So if you're looking towards building your resume and also learning different subjects that might advance you further in life, I would suggest you do that. I also want to get certifications in like Google and all of these different programs just to expand my options, because my focus, as I stated earlier, is making more money and increasing my money making ability. So I feel certifications would do that too. The next section is health. I am going to be really focusing on my teeth, because for some reason there's some issue going on with my teeth. They keep breaking, and I want so badly to strengthen my teeth and my bones. Teeth are the children of bones. If there's something going on with my teeth, there's something going on with my bones. So this year, or 2022, my whole focus is increasing my bones, my health, getting rest. I have to take physical care of myself. Mainly, especially if I want to have children, if I'm going to go through childbirth, I'm going to really need some strong bones, because if you're pregnant, the baby has the ability to take calcium from your bones. And I want to have a strong body in order to carry a child and also to give birth to a child. So I'm going to spend this year strengthening my body as well as my fertility. I'm also going to be focusing on Qigong. I have reviewed maybe 2 or 3 books on this channel about Qigong, particularly Jineng Qigong or Qilao Qigong. I feel that if I practice this, this would also assist with my healing. I do believe that body parts can regenerate, even though people might think you're crazy. I got this idea of utilizing Qigong for my healing from this book, The 101 Miracles of Natural Healing. There is one testimony in there of an elderly man who grew a completely new tooth. New teeth started growing in his mouth. So I want to use Qigong in order to heal my teeth as well. I also want to do some exercises. Hold on, I'm looking for the book. From this book, The Complete System of Self-Healing, Internal Exercises. I want to follow the advice of most of my health books in order to have a very strong and powerful body. I want to grow my hair longer. I was on my way to getting it longer. It was growing, but one of my beauticians, I think she overcut it. So my goal is to have my hair to my waist by my birthday. My birthday's in August, so we'll see if I can make it there. I don't know. I want to do a full body detox, and also drink more tea. I have never really detoxed my body before, and I think it would be very fun to try. I also want to meal plan. I'm doing the meal planning because this is going to force me to learn how to cook. I know how to cook some things, but I'm not like, oh, I'm going to throw down in the kitchen. I'm not no, I'm not there yet. I can cook something, but I can't cook all things. Now, some people have tried my food and they liked it. They're like, wow, this is good. I want another one. But me, I'm still kind of insecure about my cooking. But I want to prepare my meals and plan out my meals. So by the time I have a family, I'll be an expert in cooking. I can cook my children nourishing foods, and I'll also be able to save money and budget with my groceries. The last part of my health section is to get health insurance. I don't have health insurance, and that's a problem. I need health insurance. I need dental insurance. I just need insurance. And the reason I didn't get it, they're like, oh, get Medicaid, it's free. I don't know. I just didn't have time. Or I would go somewhere and they wouldn't accept whatever insurance I had at the time. So my goal right now is to get health insurance, any health insurance, particularly dental, because I'm going to be spending a lot of money on dental work. Unless I grow my teeth back. Now, the next section is spiritual. And one thing that I want to do is the 100-day reality challenge. I have not officially done the 100-day reality challenge since the year 2010. If you don't know, like if you're new to this channel, I actually had 2 other YouTube channels. I had a YouTube channel from like 2010 to 2011, deleted that. I had another YouTube channel for a couple of years, deleted that. And now I have this one. So I've basically been on YouTube since 2010. But I want to do the 100-day reality challenge, which was created by Lilu Mace. It is mostly where you try to accomplish your goals using the law of attraction in the course of 100 days, and you upload videos. It's vlogging. You upload videos for each day or once a week showing how you are accomplishing your goals, what methods you are using in order to attract this into your life. I also want to do an entire year of the Psalms. I had one book, The Powers of the Psalms, that's for some reason very popular on this channel. But I want to spend an entire year to see what would happen if I utilize the powers of the Psalm for a whole year. Like using it for money, using it for banishing stuff, using it to win contests. I really want to see what happens. I'm also going to spend 2022 chanting. I used to chant a lot. I would chant 108 times a day, about 13 different mantras, and I did this every single day for months. I remember I chanted the Ganesha mantra for 108 times, along with Lakshmi's mantra 108 times for 9 months straight in the year 2020. And a lot of things were happening. Obstacles were being removed. Money was increasing. I want to go hard this year, or 2022. I want to go hard. I really want to spend a whole year instead of just the 9-month period and stopping. I want to spend an entire year focusing on mantras and chanting and making sure that the mantra becomes a part of me. I also am going to be doing tarot again. I had a time where I was doing tarot every single day. I would wake up in the morning and do tarot. I was actually getting paid for readings. And one event stopped me from doing tarot. I gave this girl a tarot reading. I told her she was in danger. It was her first tarot reading. I said, you better watch out who's around you because you're in grave danger. And a week after I gave her that reading, her boyfriend beat her in her yard, her best friend stole all of her credit cards and cut up all her cards, and something else happened. But she was so shaken, and I was shaken too. I felt I was getting too consumed by the tarot because I was getting to a point where I was calculating dates. I was spying on people with the tarot. I was trying to be like measuring dates, like, oh, what time span will this happen? And blah, 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 blah. And it would be accurate. The last time I did that was with that Gabby Petito, case when she was still missing and they also couldn't find her boyfriend. When he was still missing, I did a tarot reading on that, and it showed that he was dead, and I didn't believe the tarot. I said, where is he at? And the death card came up, and I was like, no, you got to be lying. He's not dead, and he was. This was about a week before they had found him dead. But I want to go back to the tarot. I want to stop being afraid of it and really get a deeper understanding and not abuse it like I had in the past. I want to come to it with respect now and possibly do readings again. The next goal that I'm going to do for this section is I want to follow the workbooks of Emma Curtis Hopkins and Mary Baker Eddy, because these were two people who really utilized movements of healing, spiritual healing, healing the physical body, raising the dead. I want to get to that level. I really want to heal people. Every single day I see people that are sick. Every single day I see people that are in need. And I just want to get to a point where I could be able to go up to them and help them or assist them in healing their own diseases with the power of their mind. But I know it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of study and concentration. So that's why in 2022, I'm going to just mainly focus on this channel and not put so much energy into social media, which I feel is going to distract me from my overall goal of healing others. The next section, I have three more sections, so I'll try to go quick. Next section is financial, documenting all of my finances. I want to pay off 3 major debts. I've already paid off 1 debt, so I have a couple of debts. I've actually created worksheets. I created a worksheet that I have on my Etsy store, and it's called the Broken Bank Beatdown. It's where you write down whatever debt and you keep track of yourself as you pay it. I want to pay off at least 3 major debts. I also want to buy 1 acre of land, or at least put on a bid for an acre of land. I know that requires at least maybe, or maybe even not even an acre, maybe half an acre. So I'd have to save maybe $5,000 at least, maybe even less than that, to buy some type of acre or half of an acre of land. I feel that land is wealth, and I want wealth for myself, for my family, and for my future children. Another goal that I have is to save $1,000 for an emergency fund, which I do not have. I don't have $1,000 of emergency funds, so I'm going to build up that. My overall savings goal for the year 2022 is to save $10,000. I know that sounds kind of large, but I calculated that if I save $834 a month, by the end of the year, I will have a little over $10,000. So that is my main goal. I want to have $10,000 in my wealth account at the end of 2022. I'm going to put this money in my account, and I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch any of it. I'm going to raise my credit score, which I've already raised maybe 40 points by doing credit building cards and also paying off different debts. So I've raised my credit score about 45 points this year. I also want to start being more charitable and donate to at least 10 causes that I support. There's not that many causes that I have this strong attachment to, but there are a handful of causes that I admire, and I feel now is the time to tithe back to that. If you want more money coming into your life, sometimes you have to tithe that money to something. I could tithe it in a church, but I would rather tithe it with my time or tithe it with an organization that I know will utilize the funds for whatever they're using it for. The next section is physical. I want to start taking better care of my skin because as I get older, I have to change up my skincare. Right now, I'm 32. I'll be 33 in August. So I want to just be staying, presentable for most of my life. And I think that if I go hard on the skincare this year with food and vitamins and just having a regular routine consistently, that I will meet that goal. Last section, skills. So some of the skills that I want to learn are sign language. I also want to increase my vocabulary in foreign languages and in the English language. I want to learn how to drive. Actually, I don't want to learn how to drive, but I feel like it's becoming a necessity. I don't know how to drive, mainly because I've been in car accidents most of my life as a passenger. Almost every phase of my life I've been in a car accident. I was in one in the womb. I was in one as a baby, a child, and a teenager, and in my 20s. So I want to learn how to drive because if I'm in a situation where I need to drive somebody, I want to be able to safely drive them to a hospital or something. And maybe get a car. Maybe. I really don't care for cars, but if I get a car, I could possibly do Lyft or Uber and be able to make some extra income. And also perhaps get more job opportunities if I have a car and possibly go drive out of town to see the guy I like. The other part is getting more certifications, which I mentioned earlier, and also learning computer programs. I want to learn different computer programs in order to increase my income. Also, in order to help with whatever business ventures I'm doing. I mean, I could use certifications in Google to help other people build their business, but I mainly want to build my own stuff. So that's all I have to say about that. Can you hear the gunshots? So yeah, that's all I have to share with my goals and everything. And I hope you guys have a safe New Year's Eve. Feel free to share whatever goals you have for next year, what you're planning, what you learned this year, how you're going to utilize them to become a better person and to create a better world. And now for the slideshow. Happy 2022, everyone.